Good evening for everyone out there. Good evening for all my brothers and sisters in the kingdom. Good evening for my brothers and sisters back home. Good evening for everybody. And we hope say every Monday fine. We'll be very happy say we don't get opportunity for talk with you now today. And I hope say whatever I will share here will really go for help a lot of people out there. And just for make them very clear, say the purpose for this video not before say some person be right or some person be wrong, but I just for create awareness so that whatever way you do you do with a clear mind, you do with like person where you get sense, right? Like for help to educate people then so that they be able to distinguish between what is right, what is wrong, or what they should do or what they shouldn't do. So I'm thinking that maybe I should do this video in English so that a lot of people can hear what I have to say. So I just have two stories to talk about today, and I hope that a lot of us would not even benefit, but will learn something from it, right? You might not like what I have to say, or you might not agree with my own opinion, but I think we live in a democratic society whereby people are free to share their thoughts and their opinion with others. And I think it is the 21st century, and it is a period whereby we can all agree to disagree, right? So I just want that to be very clear so that people don't get offended, or some people don't think that I'm not, maybe I'm taking side or something like that. So, especially my religious brothers and sisters, because this one is a little bit about religion, so they might get offended about what I have to say. But please just hear me out first, then you can decide if what I've said is correct to you or not, right? But it's just my opinion. So let's start. Our first story for today is about this one. I came across it on YouTube. Actually, YouTubers are doing a lot of they are doing stories about it. And so I felt that it's something that is worth talking about, because I think that these days, what mostly the preachers say, some people need to ask them questions about it, because they say these things to their followers, and the followers just sit and listen to whatever they say, right? And the followers don't even ask them any question about it. Sometimes I don't think that the followers really understand what their preachers or their daddies, as they call them, are really saying. But for some reasons, they really don't ask questions about what their daddies or their preachers are saying. So let me read out this to you so that you can have an idea. Although you can also check it on the video description. Yeah, this video description I've put it there. So let's see. It says that Apostle Joshua Selman is also one of the most popular preachers or apostles in Nigeria. Yeah. He said that you never give to the poor and rise. Okay. So he was doing, is it like a sermon, or like he was preaching to people, to Christians in the church. And he said that you never give to the poor and rise. If you want to rise, then you should first sow seed in the house of the Lord. That's what he was trying to say, right? When he said, you never give to the poor and you rise. Yes, I really don't have enough religious backing on that, so I don't really want to argue if what he said is right or is wrong. But as educated as I am, I believe that anyone can twist the Bible to fit their narratives, right? Anyone can twist the Bible to look favorable to what they are trying to say. And one thing you must understand is that the preachers, the apostles, the pastors, the fathers, the whatever we call them, the religious people, they know this very well, okay? They went to school, they have learned this, they know how to market themselves. they are very, very good at marketing. Okay, they are really, really good at marketing. They know they know how to market themselves. Microphone no work. Really? Really? Oh, please let me check again. Oh, the microphone is not working. Hello, hello, can you hear me now? Is it okay? Mama G, is it okay? Microphone is not working. Hello, hello, can you hear me now? Mama G, can you hear me? I am fine, thank you. How are you? Can you hear me? Is it work? Is the microphone okay? Someone say something. Where's my charger? Hello, is it working now? Hello, hello. Hello, is it working now? Okay. Sound not coming from microphone. How is it now? Is it okay now? So I hope the microphone is better now. What happened? I can get the sound from here. Why they cannot get it? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Can you hear now? Okay. Okay, so let's continue. I'm sorry for that interruption by sound. I hope it's okay now. And I was saying that this was a statement made by a man of God, and his name is Apostle Joshua Selman, who said that you never give to the poor and rise. You never give to the poor and rise. He said this in one of his sermons to Christians in the church, that if you want to rise, you must first sow seed, and then after God has blessed you, you can then give to the poor. It's okay, like it has a way to go about it. Like right now, if you give to the poor, you cannot rise by just doing that. He went further to say that there are blessings that will come to you when you give to the poor and the needy. Right? Blessings for giving to the poor are different from the ones you get by sowing seed. So if you sow seed in the house of the Lord, you are going to rise because the Lord is going to bless you. But if you want to get other blessings that are not necessarily related to God lifting you up, or maybe making you financially successful, then you can give to the poor. You can help the poor and the needy. And when I listen to that, I find that very, very discomforting. Now, I might not necessarily say it's wrong for him to say that, no, because I believe that preachers or apostles, they know the Bible from cover to cover, and they have read it from cover to cover. Now, they might tweak it, they might twist it to fit their narratives, right? Remember, the Bible is a very complicated book, okay? It has everything in it, right? And the preachers or the pastors, they understand this very well. Remember, you're not dealing with people who are not learned. Pastors are very, very learned people. They are very smart people. They are good marketers. They can market anything to you and you will for sure buy it, right? So they are very good at what they do, right? So they can always twist the Bible, or they can always tweak some of the meaning in the Bible to fit what they are trying to say, to fit whatever narrative they are trying to sell out. So when he said that, I was like, okay, so is it okay for me not to help a poor person who lives near me because I want to use the money for tithing? Is it okay for me not to give money to the poor now because I want to tithe in the church so that God can bless me, so that God can make me financially successful? So I don't really buy this idea that if you give to the poor, then God cannot make you financially successful. Because what he meant by rise, it means you have more successes in business and finance wise, right? Because he said that there are other blessings that you get from giving to the poor and the needy. But if you want God to rise you up, to raise you up, then you have to sow seed in the house of the Lord. Well, Pastor Joshua, I respect you a lot, and I know you have a lot of followers. And I really don't agree with what you are saying. Now, others might agree with that, but I think that helping a poor person, helping my neighbor first, before even coming to the house of the Lord, is one of the best commandments. Okay, it's one of the highest quality of any good Christian. Okay, so if I have just money for tithing, instead of bringing the money and sowing seed in the house of the Lord, as you put it, I would rather help a poor person who is begging beside the road. Okay, so I think that what you said, well, might be true. Okay, might be true. You might have read it from the Bible, but I don't understand why you think that people help poor people will not be blessed by the Lord. The Lord will not help them. Remember, the Lord also said that blessed is the hand that giveth. Okay, so if you give a poor person in the street, I think the Lord will still bless you. Okay, and let's not even talk about tithing or about the religious part of it. Let's talk about the moral part of it. Okay, so you see someone beside the road, and you have just money for tithing. You cannot use that. You shouldn't use that money for tithing to help the person, because if you do that, God would not bless you, or God will not make you rise. Well, I don't think that is that is really correct. I don't think that's what we should be preaching nowadays. At least life is all about compassion and having the fear of God and having the heart to help other people. Okay, that's what I think. And for us who are not Christians, we understand that helping someone is a very good virtue. It's a very good quality, right? Helping someone is a very good quality. Helping the poor is a very good quality. Helping the needy is a very good quality. So for you to say that if someone helps the poor, the person will not rise, God will not raise up the person, then I really don't think that is the right thing you should be saying. You know, I believe that you should also you should be saying about people should help their neighbors. People should help the poor in the street, right? But for you, for the religious people, you think that people should first tithe the church. People should first give money to the church, and when they are successful, before they can help the poor. But we also remember that if you are going to help somebody, you should help the person. It doesn't matter whether you have more than enough or you have just a little. You should help the person. So if someone has just the money for tithing, the person should help a poor person or the needy instead of tithing, because I don't think God will be okay to see someone who comes and tithe in the church, who comes and give big money in the church, and cannot help the poor neighbor beside him or her, or cannot help the little girl or little boy who is crying for food. Okay, I don't think that is proper. But you know, as I said before, I'm not here to debunk you. I'm not here to say what you said isn't right. I'm just here to share my opinion about it. And I think when people listen to you, your Christians, I think they should ask more questions, right? And I understand you said that there are different blessings for this. That if you want to be financially successful, if you want God to raise you up, if you want God to raise you up, then you should so sit in the house of the Lord. Well, what can we say about that? So, well, let's just leave it to every individual to decide what they think is right for them. And my own point of talking about this today is just to make sure that people can also hear alternative voices, like your Christians can also hear other opinions, and from there they can now decide which one they think is good enough for them, and they can then follow it. Okay, so but I would have to say this again, that I do believe that helping a poor person, helping your poor neighbor is more important than giving tithe to the church. And if someone has just the tithe that he or she wants to give to the church, and there is a poor person who requires help, that person should use the tithe to help the neighbor, okay? Because there is no point of you tithing in the church whereby you have a poor neighbor, someone who is really poor, and you are unable to help the person because the money you have, you have it. Say what? I can hear, but the sound not come from desktop microphone, but come from another microphone. I don't think really. Hello. Okay, so well, that's my opinion for today, and I hope anyone who came across this video should listen what I've said carefully before making their judgment. I know most of you Christians out there would not watch the video to the end to understand what someone is saying, but we just jump to start writing because the person has mentioned your apostle or your preacher or your reverend. So just to make this very clear, I am not against people believing in God. I am not against people. I am not against people being Christian, but I think if you are a Christian, you should understand some certain things so that you can really know when and how to make credible decisions about how you do things in your Christian life. Because if you only get one narrative, which is from your pastor or from your men of God, I think sometimes they would twist the information to suit their agenda. Remember, I told you from the beginning that men of God are very good salespeople. Okay, they can sell you anything. Okay, they are very smart. They know how to use the Bible. Okay, so they are very good at what they do. That's why they are very successful, right? And that's one thing I really appreciate in them, is that the few popular preachers who are really successful, there are a lot of them in Nigeria, they are really good in what they do, because the only way you are going to be successful in whatever you do is when you do it perfectly. It's when you master the skill in doing it. Okay, that's the only way you are going to be successful, when you fully master the skills in doing it. So that's why I say kudos to most of them who are really successful. I think they are really good salesmen, and they have managed to say a lot of things to their followers, and the followers, they believe them, and that's why they've given them a lot of tithe, offering, whatever that they have given to them. So let's move to our second story for today. But before I go, one more thing, please, okay, before you do anything, know why you're doing it. Okay, whether you are a Christian or not, before you do anything, make sure you understand why you are doing it. That's the first thing. Then the second thing is that when someone tells you something, make sure you ask them questions about it. Okay, like what Apostle Joshua said about you never give to the poor and rise. Well, I don't think that statement is correct. Okay, I don't care where he's taking it from. I think giving to the poor can still make you successful. Okay, in fact, it's one of the highest blessing that you get is giving to the poor. Okay, because it is not only a thing of Christian heart, but it is something of moral. Okay, even people who are not Christians, they give to the poor, and they are very successful. Okay, because giving is a very good quality. So let's move to our oh, JB. Okay, let me. JB, thank you. I don't know if you can check the volume quality. Is it okay? Some people are complaining that it seems like the microphone is not giving a very good sound. So please, can you check, is your microphone clear enough? Sorry, is your sound clear enough? Please let me know. So let me read some few comments. What you are saying is true, but the funny bit is that our African people would prefer giving money to the church, though making them score pastor wage. Yes, JB. That what you said is true, right? But sometimes the problem in this is not the people. The problem is the church. The church is not supposed to give money to the pastor. The pastor is supposed to give money to the church. Okay, Because I don't know if you heard me what I said from the beginning. A pastor, a very popular one for that matter, actually said that, okay? And if you believe so much in somebody, if you see someone like a royal mother, whatever that person said, you are going to believe it, right? Whatever that person said, you're going to believe it. So if you see someone like a royal mother and the person says something to you, you know it's the right thing. A pastor actually said it. And 1 minute, let me pick up this call. So he actually said it. His name is Pastor Joshua Selman. You can check on YouTube and on Facebook. A lot of YouTubers, they called him out for this. Yes, mother, please, one thing, please, can you close your Facebook so that you cannot be live for us to avoid interference, or you can close your Facebook first or move away from it. Okay. And just, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. So, mother, thank you for calling in. You are one of my greatest and supporter in all my platforms, and I really appreciate your effort, and I'm so grateful. So, I would like to hear your contribution. What you have to say about this? You know, Apostle Joshua is a very popular preacher in Nigeria. In fact, he has a lot of following, right? And he actually said it. He actually said it because I watched the video in in YouTube. You know, sometimes when they say things and people call them out for saying things that people think are not proper, they get offended about it. But he actually said that. He said, and I will rephrase again, I will paraphrase again. You never give to the poor and rise. And he continued to say that if you want God to bless you, if you want God to raise you up, then you need to first sow seed in the house of the Lord. After the Lord has blessed you with a lot of riches and successes, then you can now start taking care of the poor. So, what is your take on this?
Yeah, Mr. Kelly, good evening from Mapogodu, all the way from Cameroon. Thank you first for giving me the opportunity to share on your platform this evening. Yeah, first of all, I would like to say one thing first before I move to the point of sowing seed. Most pastors, they make So my fellow brothers and sisters that are listening, believe me, why us Africans, we believe in miracles. That is what is bringing us down. Secondly, giving to the poor makes you twice better in front of the eyes of God. If you care, you take your salary, you give 75% to God. You see a poor man who is hungry, you say, no, this money is for my tithe, it's for my seed. Go and give it. The pastor will keep on going rich. I mean, take that money, start it from this month of August. You see a poor man, you say, I want to sow a seed of 1,000 pounds. Sow a seed in that man's life, and you receive the blessings that God will give to you. God bless you all for listening. That's my own contribution. Kelly, thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much for calling. Like always, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. We hope our listeners will hear what you say, and that is going to guide them when they are doing any sowing of seed or any helping of the poor and the needy. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, so you just heard what one of our listeners had to say about the issue of sowing of seed and helping the poor. And actually, I'm not against people sowing of seed or helping the poor. Actually, you can do both, right? You can do both. You can help the poor and you can still sow seed. And some of the preachers, actually, they do help the poor like a lot, right? They help like Apostle Johnson and Suleiman. He helps the poor like a lot. So they're also like very famous. Like even the late and T.D. Joshua. He also was a very nice person. He also was a nice person and who like helping the poor. Actually, they do help the poor. Not that they don't help the poor, but my main point of concern is just what he said. Right? What Apostle Joshua said, that you never give to the poor and vice, which I think is a very, very bad doctrine, to say something that is very bad. But that being said, let's move on to our second topic for today. Actually, this one just came was it on the 7th or on the 8th? It happens to one Nigerian diplomat in Jakarta, Indonesia. Actually, according to the story I read from I think BBC Africa, and also watched from this Indian media, they call it Beyond, yeah. The story is being said. You can also check it online. You can just go on Google and key in Nigerian diplomat and manhandled by Indonesia immigration officers. There are a lot of articles about that, so you can read from it and get more information there. But we'll just summarize it for you, then I share my opinion on it. So according to the story I read, what happened was that the immigration officers were told that some foreigners in a neighborhood in Indonesia, one neighborhood or one street, are there and they do not have the necessary paper. It means they do not have, maybe the visas have expired, or some of them are living illegally, right? So the Indonesian immigration officials went there to like check the papers and try to see if there are some illegal immigrants there, so that they can arrest them. So when they arrived there, they met this Nigerian diplomat there. I don't know what he was doing there, but according to the articles, they met him there, and then they, 1 minute, let me open the article again. So according to the article, they met him there, and according to what the people in Beyond reported, that they asked for his papers, like his passport, to check his visa status, but it looks like he didn't have it with him, so he didn't show them. That was why they arrested him, and then they put him in their bus, right? Then in the bus, he tried to escape. That was why the immigration officers, they had to like hold him down with force. But now the video that is circulating online, from the video you can hear the man shouting that he cannot break his neck, his back, and stuff like that. So now it has become a real problem between the two nations because the video went viral, right? And Nigeria was very offended about this, and the Nigerian government was really pissed. Actually, they've called their ambassador who lives in, who works in Indonesia to come back home and give a full report about the incident. And they have also invited the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria has invited the Indonesian Consul General, the ambassador of Indonesia in Nigeria, to also come and give a statement. And from what I watched yesterday, they've offered some apologies, like the immigration department in Indonesia has offered some apologies, saying that this is a very separate incident, that is not something that happens all the time, and they are really sorry that something like this happened, and they are trying to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So people are very, very angry about this. Now, when it comes to the way black people are being treated, I don't want people to think that I'm playing the victim card here, but it's not like that. But you guys can see it with your own eyes, okay? If there's something that a black person is involved in, right, the way the officials, especially the police people who handle it is quite different. They would handle it in such a way that sometimes I don't understand if the way they are handling it is really necessary. They use a lot of force to handle it. Look at the way, if you watch the video, I advise you to go and watch the video, and you can find it in YouTube, or you can also find it in, go to this website, and it's BBC Africa. Yeah, if you go to BBC Africa, you're going to find the video there. I don't want to post the video in our channel because of copyright issue and YouTube, Facebook stuff, there are issues of copyright. Sometimes they talk about how do you even call it? I've forgotten the name. But let's get back to our story. So my point is, these things happen a lot, not just in Indonesia, but also even in other Asian countries and even in European countries. They happen like a lot. Black people are being assaulted. Black people are being manhandled in such a way that you cannot understand why they are being handled that way. And the thing that pains me the most is that when it happens to common people like us, like you, like I, no one says anything, right? Not our government, not the government of the country that we are. No one says anything. Now it happens to a diplomat. The whole world is like, wow, everyone is shouting, everyone is angry. Nigerian government is angry, and they are demanding a lot of report to like what happened. But there have been countless incidents of Nigerians living in Indonesia being harassed, being maltreated by the Indonesian authority, especially the immigration department. But no one is ever saying anything. Even here in Thailand, sometimes incidents like this will happen to us. No one will say anything, you see. So not like I'm happy that this happened to the guy, but not that I'm happy that this okay, this happened to Mr. Ibrahim, okay, Abdulrahman Ibrahim. Not that I'm happy that this happened to him, but sometimes, I always quote this. This is like a phrase that I heard people saying it, right? That when they came for my neighbors, right, I didn't say anything because I thought that it didn't concern me, that it didn't affected me, okay. But I did not know that sooner than later they will come for me. If you understand what I mean. it has been happening to Nigerians living over there, and no one has been saying anything. So now it has happened to him, you see. So I think that when things like this happen, our host country, or our not our host country, sorry, not our host country, but the country that we came from, okay, our motherland or our fatherland, okay, they should say something. Our government should say something about it. They shouldn't just keep quiet, because we have been complaining about this kind of maltreatment like all the time, but no one is saying anything, you see. So this should serve like an example to our government officials, those that work in our embassies abroad, and also those that work in our home country, that the way they are treating us in the country that we are, in the country that we've traveled to, they will also, the way they're treating us and they are not saying anything, one day it will come back to them. So my advice to our officials is that when people make complaints about certain things, the government should take it seriously and should try to get to the bottom of the issue, okay? Because if they do not look into the matter in the pretext that, well, it happens to us, the common people, sooner than later, it will happen to them. It's just like it's a slippery slope, right? So it just moves from one person to another. So Mr. Ibrahim, well, I'm sorry that this happened to you, and I hope that you've learned a lot from this experience, and you have also experienced firsthand what we, the common people, go through when we are being harassed or when we are being manhandled by security forces. So I think from now onward, when people complain to you about the way they are being treated by officials of the law, you are also going to look into the issue. So that's just my take on that. Let me see what people in the comment section have been saying. When you say life no balance, not true, no, life no balance at all. Life no balance, no. Because now Nigerian government is shouting, is demanding apology, Indonesian government is giving apologies, and they've called their ambassador to come and give a full report of the entire incident and stuff like that, because it happens to their, is it consul general, right? But let's say it happens to anyone, you know, any simple person, that they wouldn't even care, you know, they wouldn't do anything. But we are not happy for that. I'm really sorry, and I sympathize with the victim here, which is Mr. Ibrahim. I really sympathize with him, but I just hope this incident will teach him a simple lesson, okay, for him to understand that when people complain about police harassing and doing a lot of things to them, he is going to look into the issue. So that's all I have to say for now. So I think these were the two stories that I wanted to talk with you guys today. And before I go, I just want to make one simple point about tithing and helping the poor and needy.